All right, here we are at 1431 Quail Lane in Dayton, Ohio. This is actually the Beaver Creek School District, and this is a 4-bedroom, 2.5 bath, 2,400, a little over 2,400 square feet, 2,471 to be exact. And nice little quiet street in Beaver Creek. And what's kind of noticeable right off the get-go is that it has a long driveway. So you could probably fit at least 4, I'd say 5 or 6 cars on this driveway, not including inside the garage. And so then you have also a parking pad over here, but the concrete actually looks pretty good. So one of those sometimes you see where they're on level and everything, but this is actually a good level driveway. Looks like it might be fairly recent, like 10 years maybe. And then the pavers too, the pavers are really nice, in good condition. And there's definitely some greenery coming through, but that's minor. No cracking, not really much settling, so it's mostly level, and that's pretty good. But one thing that does pop out as soon as you walk in is the gutter. The front gutter is pretty much fallen off, and I don't even think it's even being intended. It looks like it's even held up. You could kind of see these little ropes. Looks like it might be held up by those little ropes, potentially. So, but that's kind of minor. It's probably under $1,000 to do that. I'd say a couple hundred, really, probably like 500, something like that. The brick, it looks like it's in good condition. All the mortar looks like it's properly pointed and everything. So brick is usually low maintenance. Don't have really issues with that. You do have, looks like vinyl on the upper portion of the house on the front, so that's also pretty good because you won't see that deteriorate too well over time. So it's a good thing. So brick is preferable, but that's actually not too bad either. That's a well over there. It does advertise that it's city water. That's something that I would want to inquire about a little bit more. I know previous listings show it as being a well, so and that definitely right there. And I'll just walk over to it. This is a well, and you have a little pumping well and then the regular well for the regular water. So I'd be curious to see if it's still on well. It is city sewer. It's been on city sewer for a while. Front porch is pretty nice. Concrete is all smooth and looks like it's there's no issues with settling or anything like that. This is basically a slab foundation. You see a little bit of cracking right there, but that's not too bad for the age of this house. This is I think this is a 1960s. If I remember, this is 1974. That's what it shows. All right, so there's some dated elements about the house, but overall it seems like it's in good condition. Do have regular wood flooring in here, kind of nice. It is a little worn in some spots, so it could be reconditioned, but overall it is in good condition. And so this is that older style construct where you have like your formal living room in here, and then you have like a family room in the back. So this is the formal living room, really big size formal living room. And one thing that stands out to me too, and I'd be curious to ask, is it looks like there's multiple types of heating. So this is reminiscent of the coil type of heating. So it might actually be so how it works is each room has its own little controller like this, and then you just turn on the heat. It's electric coils, either in the floor or in the ceiling. It's most likely in the ceiling, and that will actually radiate heat down. And I did test actually, so this is on a heat pump system for both AC and heat as well. So it has air ducts for the heat. So I think it's actually got 2 types of heat, which is actually a good thing, assuming that the coils are actually working. If you only had these coils and all the coils were centrally commanded, by a thermostat somewhere, and you couldn't change the individual rooms, that would be a bad thing. They're very inefficient, very expensive to heat up a house with electric heat like that. It's basically similar concept as a baseboard heat, but the coils themselves are actually either in the floor or the ceiling. I've seen either way. Usually in this area, they're in the ceiling though. So you'll see when you go up into the attic, you'll see just a bunch of like electric looking coils that are up there, and they just heat up as you send electric current through it. So that's kind of how it works. But I think the type of heat system in this house is independent. So each room has its own controller, and so you have independent heating. So why that's good, and it turns out to be a little bit better in that case, because you don't have to keep the entire house a certain heat temperature. You can lower the temperature in the majority of the house and only raise the heat in the areas that you're using the most, and that actually turns into be cheaper that way, assuming that you're only turning up the heat in one room or whatever. So like for instance, the regular heat pump system, turn it to 65 or something like that. Some people like that. I usually like it higher, but then folks that want to higher would just turn the electric coils on top of that on to supplement it, and it actually works well, especially if you don't use the heat pump at all. Like some people just turn the heat pump totally off and only use the coils in the rooms, like a living room or whatever. Typically people keep their bedrooms cooler, so it would mostly just be the living room that we're talking about, or the bathrooms. So anyway, so you have, as you come in, so you have the dining area, you have a half bath here, kitchen, there's another living room off to that side, also a patio over there, and then over here are the bedrooms. And so we'll just kind of do a quick tour, but I kind of looked around. I didn't really see anything that pops out as issues. So it is a electric water heater as well. This is where the water heater is. It looks newer. 2019 is what's on that sticker right there, and it looks like it is correct. So this is your water softener, and then you have basically an air purifier type of system. This is the water that comes out of the AC unit would be pumped into here, and then it pumps right into, I think it's the other way around actually. So that looks like it might actually be a humidifier. But anyway, so that's where the utilities are, the mechanicals. And then this is where you would probably put the formal dining room if you have one, maybe even an office, and decent sized room for either of those. Again, there's another controller right there for the heating elements. This is also like an eat-in kitchen area, so it could also be the dining room if you wanted to make that the office over there. So you have built-in cabinets here into the kitchen, and the design of this makes it feel like it's a big open kitchen, which is kind of nice. This is laminate countertops, so pretty much the cheapest type of countertops you can get, and the cabinets look older as well. I happen to like the wood look. Most people don't. That's kind of the trend these days, is to have whites or blacks, and the wood is definitely not in, but I like the wood. And it does have the stainless steel refrigerator, dishwasher, and range in microwave hood vent. So plenty of counter space though. Countertops are pretty good size all the way around, kind of a wraparound horseshoe looking type of setup. And then this is what you would say like the formal family room. Like the family room, not the formal living room. And so, this is where you would pretty much hang out most of the time. The old construct is that you have a formal living room up front, and that was, to entertain guests, so you don't have to show them the rest of the house that might not be as tidy, so especially back in the days when you had, a lot of salespeople going around, vacuum sales, Tupperware sales, that kind of stuff, and you would just entertain them in the formal living room where you keep it all nice and tidy, and then this is where basically you could just leave it a mess, especially like with if you have kids or something like that. So nice big window right here into the covered patio in the back. Covered patio in the back does have carpet, you know, but it looks like all the windows are decent condition. I didn't really notice any issues with any of the windows anywhere. So kind of nice, you know, to have a fully closed in covered patio back here. And they do have some vents, it looks like, running out here. I don't know if those exactly go into the air duct system, but they do have a couple of vents out here. I wouldn't be surprised if they are connected to the air duct system on the inside. And so you have a little cat door or dog door, kind of nice. And then the patio also in the back has pavers, you know, so nice good pavers in the back. Nice barn back there as well. Looks like it's a 2-story, like a 1.5 story almost, where you could store your stuff on top of the normal area. And so everything looks good. I mean, I don't have any concerns. You know, the gutters are probably the biggest issue, and then outside of that, I don't know the age of the furnace. It's probably older, but you know, that's something that I would say inspector would help you out on. Definitely always recommend getting an inspector. There's a laundry room. Laundry room does have you know, a utility sink, which is really nice, and you'd have the washer over there, the dryer over there. And that's interesting. So that's a whole house fan. I didn't see that earlier. So this is basically, not the whole house fan, this is a whole house vacuum cleaner. So you would basically just hook a hose up to that. And there's probably a canister in the garage somewhere that would be used to basically suck up all the dirt, which I don't see. So I wonder if it's in the attic or something, or if it's even being used. But I don't see a canister. That's your radon kit, so it is actually mitigated, and it is properly mitigating correctly right now. So that's good. And you know, the concrete looks pretty good in here. A little bit of flaking and cracking, but it's better than what I've seen mostly out there. So especially for the age. Looks pretty good. You have some storage up here. There's a pull down attic over here. You know, overall it's just kind of dirty, but you know, these are minor. So the panel is 200 amps. That's a good size. Actually has a couple of notches to even add a couple if you need to. I don't know what they're using all this is. I mean, this isn't that big of a house for that many switches, and you know, I wonder what they're using them all for. Only some of them are labeled. And so yeah, there's I wonder what that's connected to, something in the attic, I think. That could be, it could be for the HVAC system up there. Okay, so that is the garage. I'll take a look at this real quick here. So it looks, yeah, that is a vacuum. So I wonder where the rest of it is. I don't see any more of those ports, which is interesting. So yeah, I don't think it's actually still being used, or even could be used. All right, you know, so I've been looking at the ceilings. I haven't seen, you know, any kind of signs of moisture intrusion or anything like that. So overall, looks good there. Carpet here is, you know, older, and that's why you see it kind of bunching up here. You can, you know, stretch it if you don't want to put in new carpet immediately. You can stretch it and clean it, but all the carpet's pretty much older. All right, so nice big full bath in the hall with 2 sinks, and you know, decent tub. Looks like it's not the original, It's upgraded at some point. Ceramic tile flooring, just like the other bathroom. Hardware is a little bit older. This is the primary room, primary bedroom. Good size. Primary bedroom only has, looks like they had possibly taken out, I don't think this ever had a tub in here. I think this was always a shower. And yeah, I mean, it's a little bit updated. It has some tiling. I'm sure that's not the original tile. Okay, and then you have two sinks in here, which is really nice to have two sinks in the primary bathroom area. So it is a little different where you don't really have like a formal definitive bathroom except for the toilet over here, and the toilet is shared with the shower. So you do have a door here, but then you have, you know, the vanities open, you know, to the bedroom with the carpet and everything. I actually think that's a good design. That's very atypical. You normally would have a definitive bathroom, there would not be carpet in there. You know, a lot of people frown on carpet in the bathroom, which I also do too. You don't want to get it wet all the time. So, you know, a lot of times when you get out of the shower, you come in here and then you're brushing your teeth or something, you're dripping or something. But the way this is designed is that you basically dry off in there for the most part, and then hopefully by the time you get out here, you wouldn't be dripping or anything like that. So it's not a bad design. I think it's definitely unusual. But where it is good is if you're not taking, you know, shower and then coming out here, it's nice to the feel of the carpet is more of a comfort type of feel. And you know, they are kind of seeing some studies come through. Everybody went to the hardwoods and the hard surface flooring, and what's been happening is they realized that the carpet actually provides enough cushion over the years, especially when you're talking about decades of walking on it. Carpet actually helps to save the joints a little bit better than hardwood surfaces. So, you know, it's one of the reasons I prefer carpet. I just like the feel of it, but most people do not. Most people like the hard surfaces. And then they say you could put, like, you know, you could put throw a rug on the hard surface and kind of have best of both worlds, you know, type of thing. But I still prefer carpet. So that's just me, and it's cheaper. So all the carpet definitely is older and stained in a lot of cases. I think every room had stained carpet. So, but all the rooms are pretty big. This is interesting here. So you could kind of see the waves here. So what's happening is the sunlight is kind of getting to it. It looks like, and it just over time, these are older blinds. It just kind of melted it and just starts sinking. That's pretty interesting. Okay, so pretty good. I think overall, I'm gonna just do a quick pan outside around the sides. Just see if anything pops out. But from what I saw already, you know, the brick looks like it's in good condition. It's well pointed, and you know, I don't see really any issues with that. What I will say on the front here is that this mulch, the mulch should not be going above the parging. So, you know, the mulch right here is actually touching the brick. You can kind of see some of the parging right here, you know, below the brick. You want to keep all the surfaces below that. You know, so yeah, and the reason is, you know, for, you know, bugs, termites, that kind of thing, and then also rot in general. The higher you go up, the more that can kind of seep into the brick. I don't see any weep holes. That's interesting for the brick. Normally, they might have actually, looks like they actually covered them in, which you're not supposed to do. So I think this probably, see this different color, it's a little bit lighter right here. You know, you have the mortar around it. That looks like caulk. And it looks like they probably filled it in where that probably was a weep hole. And the weep hole, basically what it is, you know, if you have moisture, you know, it's assumed that you're going to have moisture kind of seeping in behind the brick at some point. And then that would be an avenue for it to kind of release, you know, get some air behind it, or even just, you know, weep out, so that's the name of it. But you have that normally like every couple of feet. So you have one right there, and I see, right here, looks like that was filled in. If those are indeed weep holes, then they should not be filled in. But I think that's exactly what happened, because it's almost the even space is between that one. This is another one right there. You can kind of see the caulking. Yep, and then here's another one. Caulking there. I'm betting they filled in the weep holes. So, and a lot of people don't know. They see, because it looks a little weird. Just basically like it's a gap in between the brick. And most people have the tendency to kind of make it uniform with all the rest of the mortar. But that's not what you want to do. That's something that you can remedy. So there's actually a little space right there at the bottom. It's actually a horizontal. I think that's a horizontal weep hole right there, potentially. Although that's not too common, so could be wrong on that. So on the back side, you can see, there's cinder block on the front. It's actually not parged on the back, where you would have you could kind of see the definitive cinder blocks. And normally you would parge the front, so it looks like one basically glazed over, fully glazed over all the way across front part. So it's not terrible, but it looks like they took some more caulk there. And so I wonder actually if this is, I didn't see a crawl space. Pretty sure this was a slab. But those look like cinder block fronts, which tells me that's a crawl space somewhere. Yeah, and then you go, this another one kind of filled in there. You can kind of even see the crack behind there. They just basically filled the gap. So you can just pull it out. There's another one right there. Another one right there. Yep, so they were consistent. So anyway, the pavers look good. The yard's pretty much flat. The roof looks okay. So that's interesting there. You have a little tube coming out right there. So, I think the HVAC system is in the attic, because I did not see it in the lower. It was not by the mechanical room. So that's probably some sort of water release, condensation release type of thing. And then this is in a covered patio right here. A lot of times you have issues with these because they weren't originally built, and the grade is not it's not at a good enough angle to have all the water drip down through. So if you have like trees over it like this, branches, leaves, and all that kind of stuff's going to get stuck on top, and it's going to keep the water from going over. And over time, you potentially could see where it starts to leak in between, the original house and then the addition. So that's very common where you see that kind of issue. I'd be curious. It looked dry in there though. I didn't see any issues with this one, so it might be keeping it free of debris. And there's not too many of trees around or anything like that. So, but anyway, I'm going kind of long on this, and just kind of wrap it up with this shed. And this actually looks like a pretty nice shed overall. Nice little locking mechanism here. So, but overall, it's a shed. It's not new. It's not brand new. It does have some. It looks like maybe some of the roof might be missing over there potentially. Some wood rot, but overall it looks pretty structurally sound. I don't see too many issues. It's just a shed. This is, I think, a pretty nice shed. I'll just take a look on the side over there, where it looks like maybe there's some of the fascia part of the roof might be missing. It's just this front piece here. So you can see the front piece is rotted out right here. And the roof is actually missing a tile. So you see that darker piece? It's missing a whole sheet of tile, not tile, but shingles all the way across. So there's actually a missing piece right there. And then you can see this little shingle right there is kind of pushed down a little bit. So, you know, the roof's old, you know, as indicated, is you have some issues there. Wonder what the other side looks like. Yeah, so you have a lot of moss. It's turning green from the moss. It's not getting enough sunlight on that side because of the shade. It's common with sheds. Front looks good. Looks like they probably recently painted it. Yeah, there you go again. So the front piece is missing. So all the wood all the way around it, you know, is pretty dilapidated underneath the roof because the roof itself is old. But the structure itself is pretty nice. This is a nice shed overall. So it just needs the roof needs to be tended to. All right, well, that's all I got. Let me know if you have any questions, if you want to put in an offer, and just reach out to me, hit me up. Howie with Team Next, signing off. Thanks.